So, who got the Iron Throne? Who lived? Who died? Who survived Arya's kill list? Either you loved it, you hated it, you didn't care, you didn't watch it, or you did watch it, which is like 20 to 40 million people did watch it. Last night was the final Game of Thrones. We now live in a post-Game of Thrones world. What comes next? We are boiling it all down tonight. Plus, we have all kinds of Comic-Con news, and Ben got married tonight on the show.
What? Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's The Con Guy Comic-Con Prep Show.
I like it. I like it. All right. We are experimenting with new music every week, and this one's really lively.
I like it. A Con Guy show.
All right. We are the Con Guy Comic-Con Prep Show. My name is Jim. I'm the managing editor here. We have a room for the all-star cast is here tonight. Who do we have?
Ritza Segiorna, Newhabrosi Derek, and I am a contributor to theconguy.com. Yeah, I know nobody else speaks High Valyrian. I actually just studied a little bit because it's fun.
It's like your new way of saying your
Yeah, but hi, my name's Derek.
Hi, I'm Katie. I am a cosplayer and just all-around nerd. I guess now I'm the con girl, so yeah.
What's up? I'm Ben Kliewer at BENKLIEWER on all social media. I'm an actor, comedian, all-around nerd, and married man.
Newly married man. And who do we have on the couch? That is Cheeseman on the couch. He is Bran this week.
Cheese Bran on the couch.
Cheese Bran on the couch this week.
I've got to go now.
All right. Fantastic.
He has fans.
Cheers.
And can we just, right up front, just tell you, if you have not yet seen Game of Thrones,
We're going to be talking about
we're going to be talking about everything that happened last night, and we're going to be bringing in some stuff from the past season. So, yeah, we're going to be spoiling it, but I have a hard time believing that there's anybody alive who has not seen last night's episode.
Well, unless they've just never watched the show at all, because there are a few people who are doing that.
Listen, if you're worried about spoilers for Game of Thrones and you haven't watched it by
What
now...
are you doing on the internet?
Because it's like... This was the finale, so it's at that point you don't have an excuse.
Nope. I tell you what, this was one of those unavoidable cultural moments, and it was, as Thanos said, inevitable.
Wasn't it the most tweeted about episode of TV ever?
I think so. Well,
Did it beat Marvel's of Endgame?
Oh, I doubt
record,
that.
though?
I doubt that. I don't know. We're gonna go into some of those records, but I think it did. It broke all kinds of records. It's the most watched episode ever on HBO of anything.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, yeah.
So it just kind of blew everything away, and not surprisingly, not everybody liked it. As a matter of fact, a whole lot of people didn't like it. We'll get into that. There's some
We knew
things
that was coming.
some things not to like, some things to love. But first, Ben, welcome back to the show.
Yeah.
Took a few weeks off there, nursed my injuries, and I'm gonna come back strong in the next game.
All right. So you had something else going on too.
Oh yeah, I guess I got married. I like that fanfare.
I love it.
Yes, May the 4th be with you, 2019. Jim and Luke were actually there.
It was it was one of the best, most fun weddings. Yeah.
Derek and Katie weren't invited because I don't like them.
I know.
No, I'm just joking. I love them both.
Gosh,
See, if I'd been
good
there,
man.
if Laura and I had been there, we would have constantly been comparing it to our wedding and seeing like how well you tried to one up our geek wedding.
We didn't invite any married couples, so.
But you did bring pictures.
I did bring
You brought
pictures.
some
If you want
pictures.
to, can we throw those?
Oh
up?
wait! By the way, wait. We did not introduce somebody brand new to our show tonight. He is engineering in the room. This is Ryan.
Hey, how we doing, you guys? Super excited to be engineering the show. Glad to be a part of it tonight. And congratulations once again on the wedding.
Thank you very much.
And
it was not a red wedding.
I was going to say congrats
Not a
on
red
having
wedding.
a Game of Thrones themed wedding without having anyone die.
It was very heavy into Game of Thrones aesthetic. We actually toyed with the idea of staging a murder at the reception. But we thought, because we have friends who are in special effects, and we thought, well, that might be messy and the venue might not be into it, and my mom might be horrified. But I did have to warn my mom about a few things before they happened. For example, Bree came out to do her bouquet toss to Magic Dance from Labyrinth, and she had a baby Toby that she tossed first. And I was like, Mom, we're going to be tossing a baby. It's not a real baby. It's a movie reference, so don't worry. And she was like,
Can you
"Okay."
talk about your first dance, though, which was so
Yeah.
epic?
Oh, yeah. So we actually, a friend of ours named Lennon Hobson, who's a incredibly talented dancer, we actually paid her to choreograph our first dance. So we came out, and our song is... Oh,
And I think your pictures...
Are these up right now? Oh, yeah. So this is the ceremony. This was at Calamigos Ranch in Malibu. So we had one of our centerpieces was a weirwood tree from Game of Thrones,
love
of
it.
course.
All right, and next.
What's the next one coming up? Of course, the Stark banner.
And then?
And I didn't know if we should have the Lannister banner there, but it was pretty. So that was our sweetheart table. I asked the florist if we could have pampas grass, because apparently it's a trend now to put pampas grass into floral arrangements.
I don't know what that means.
That's the big puffy, sticky uppy things.
Okay, that's Irish grass.
And that grows all over the place back in Kansas, which is my home.
Nice.
And I didn't realize until I saw some pictures like on Pinterest or something that it's used a lot in floral arrangements. And I was like, can we do that? And she's like, yeah, that'd be great. And she did a wonderful job, and it was just beautiful.
Cool.
But yeah, we can keep going with the pictures here. And we actually went to a prop house and rented like antlers and books and skulls and that sort of thing to decorate.
Of course.
So, why not?
Okay.
We live in Hollywood. Why not?
I think it's the last one.
Of course, our cake with the cake topper that says, I love you. I know.
I love that. But, and are there any more pictures? I think that's all we have.
Is that all we have, Ryan? I think that's all we got.
But,
That's all we have, you guys.
But your first dance.
The first dance. So we came out and we started with Ben Folds' "The Luckiest," which is our song.
That is a great song.
It's one of my favorite songs ever, and we kind of did this awkward prom dance just to be silly, because we're both theater geeks and we're goobers, and it was just fun. And that transitioned into 10 minutes ago. From the Brandy version of Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella, to which we did a waltz, and we had a couple of lifts in there, and then that transitioned into John Williams' Duel of the Fates from Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, which just turned 20 years old a couple of days ago.
That's hard
That's
to believe.
fantastic.
Yeah. It came out May 19th, 1999, a date that is burned into my memory.
That's so. As much time has passed from then to now as was from the original premiere of A New Hope to the special edition.
To the special edition, yeah. So there you go.
Fantastic. But when that music started, Duel of the Fates from Star Wars.
From episode 1, we both, our maid of honor and best man were holding our lightsabers at the ready for us.
Yep.
And we had ourselves a little lightsaber duel.
That's nice.
I think did you record that?
You did the lightsaber duel?
Brand, did you record that? Yeah. I think
You're a good man. I think I did.
Yeah,
I think I got a little bit.
Yeah,
I
we're gonna
just need to
post
send
that.
you
That
some
Yeah,
was-
you
stuff.
need to post that, because we actually got quite a number of cell phone videos sent to us of that.
Yeah, I didn't film any during the ceremony because I was told not to.
No.
We were told not to.
I was told not to.
We got our video back from the ceremony, and it's dope.
Is it
too.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We had
nice.
professional photographers and videographers do the whole thing.
Are we
so
all
that's
better
fun.
looking?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You look like you
Nice.
belong on a
By the way,
magazine
I
cover.
loved the ring bearer.
Yes, our dog Kylie was our ring bearer.
Yeah.
And our friend Kyle, who was a grown man, was our flower girl. And he wore a dress.
Did he wear
Yes.
a tutu? Oh,
He didn't wear a tutu, but he wore a dress.
That's amazing.
It was so great. And I must say, Bree, I hope you're watching. You were just so lovely. Yeah, Bree looked fantastic. I do have a picture here that I wish I would have sent in tonight, but Ben, you looked okay too.
Oh, thank you.
But you really
wore
made
all white, though.
You married
It was
married
so
up.
classy. I love all white. It's so
yeah.
good. It's so pretty.
I wore a white dinner jacket, a la James Bond, and so I was pretty stoked about that.
And
too.
she entered to what music?
She entered to a
It was cool.
picked acoustic guitar version of the Jurassic Park theme.
That was great. It was really good. They had, I loved you guys had some Game of Thrones music going on. You had the guys with the swords standing up that you had to walk through. Everything about it, because I was telling you.
There you go.
Themed for your
Jurassic
wedding.
Park.
I mean, I'm also wearing a Jurassic Park shirt. So,
Yeah, there you go.
Oh.
Yeah, our ushers, Lonnie and Mike, those were their swords they brought from home.
Of course.
But I said, you guys are the ushers. I want you to be wearing swords as the ushers.
That's fantastic. Listen, from all of us to you guys, congratulations to the Con couple. You guys had such a great wedding, and we've known you for so long, and I know that this is just a perfect marriage made in heaven. So congratulations to you guys. By the way, the parties afterwards were great, too. Like, I've never been to a wedding where the bride and groom walk around handing out secret cards. There's a secret after party afterwards.
Yeah,
That was great.
Yeah, we had a secret after party on property at Calamigos at like the pool house.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how much Brie dropped on that after party because I like helped finish a little bit of stuff over at the reception, and then I walked over there, and there was a whole nother food spread,
a full buffet, and
a full bar,
and
I was like, holy moly!
I know. I walked in there and I told Luke, I said, "Man, they dropped some dough on that."
Yeah, I was like, so Brie, what's going to be at the after party? And she's like, don't worry about it, I got this. And I was like, okay. And I was like, oh, we're just going to hang out and have like Diet Cokes, you know? Like,
Good job, Brie.
It was amazing. The after party by
Yeah.
the pool and everything.
It was dope.
out there at the pool. Man, that was so great. So, anyways, congratulations. Hey, Ben, since we have you cornered right now, we haven't seen you in just a little bit. We have 3 minutes of geek news we would like to hit.
All right.
And we're going to let Ryan tell you when he is ready for you to go.
All ready, you guys.
All right.
All right, who's ready?
You want to count them down, Ryan?
We're starting. Okay, we'll start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
3-minute Geek News Roundup, here we go. Game of Thrones ended its record-setting final season with a record-setting finale in the ratings. The HBO mega hit drew 13.6 million viewers for its initial airing of the series finale Sunday night. Adding in replays and early streaming, that figure climbs to 19.3 million. Both figures are records, not just for Game of Thrones, but for HBO's entire history. With continuing streaming, DVR, and on-demand viewing and additional replays, HBO says Season 8 is averaging an unheard of 44.2 million viewers through Sunday.
That's a mega hit, man.
Speaking of setting records, Avengers Endgame has officially passed Avatar at the domestic box office with a $770.8 million to Avatar's $760.5 million. Endgame is now the second highest grossing movie ever domestically, behind the seemingly uncatchable Star Wars The Force Awakens, which managed an astonishing $936.6 million. Endgame now has global totals of $2.61 billion. Avatar is still at the top of the worldwide box office with $2.78 billion. With only $174 million left until Endgame passes Avatar at the global box office, Marvel fans have launched 2 new hashtags. The hashtag #BeatAvatar and hashtag #WatchEndgame hashtags are now out there and making the rounds, with many fans saying, if you hated the Game of Thrones finale, go back and see Endgame to see how a real grand finale should be done.
That's what they're saying.
I'm just quoting. There are other fandoms in the world besides Game of Thrones getting the hate of fans. Take Batman, for instance. There are now multiple petitions asking DC to remove the sparkly vampire Robert Pattinson from the upcoming movie The Batman after he was announced as the likely inheritor of Bruce Wayne's cape and cowl. Batman's a Hufflepuff. For a bit of happy news, Disney's Star Wars Galaxy's Edge opens May 31st at Disneyland in Anaheim and August 29th at Disney's Hollywood Studios in Florida. For the first 3 months, you'll need a special reservation ticket to get into the new 14-acre expansion. The good news is that these reservation tickets are free. The bad news, they're all gone. But don't fret. After the first 3 months, no reservation tickets will be needed and time.
And that's after
Bam!
that, I will go.
I'm going June the 6th. I got my reservation ticket.
So a homie of mine, actually, Lonnie, my usher with the samurai sword, with the katana. He texts me. He's like, "Yo, bro, I got an extra reservation to Galaxy's Edge on June 21st." And I was like, that's Bree's birthday.
Wait, her birthday's June 21st?
Yeah.
Mine's the 22nd.
Oh my God.
We're like birthday buddies now.
Well, there you go. Bree, you heard it here.
All right. Thank you so much for that. By the way, I saw some Robert Pattinson. He's really bulking up for this role. Have you seen him?
He's in good stuff. It's just people are only comparing him to Twilight. And
Right.
Twilight was terrible. but you can't judge him only
Not
off
everybody
Twilight.
thought it
No.
was terrible. I thought it was terrible, but
There,
not
there,
everybody.
there are a lot of people who loved it. Yeah,
Yes,
people
a lot of
who-
people loved it.
but
He's a good
There's
man.
reasons they loved it.
Yeah, and he's a good actor.
Yes.
And
he was just in a.
Terrible.
He was in
He is
one-
a good actor.
He's in
Right.
something
Good
that
guy.
a lot of
Yes.
people did not care for.
He's
Yes.
where he
It's
needs
just
to
where
be.
it's where he got his name.
Did you hear
so.
Brian?
He's where he needs to
Yes,
be.
thank you.
Is where he's supposed to be.
And of course, you know, he played Cedric Diggory.
Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't see the movie where he played Salvador Dali,
I
but he's
wanted
done,
to
he's
see
done other
that.
things like that.
I saw
that
him
just-
in Remember Me, which was the September 11th one. I saw
Oh.
that one, and that was like right during or right after Twilight. So it's just Twilight.
And
You
we
get-
all know Batman is cast based on the jawline anyway,
Exactly.
and I think he handles that okay.
And all of you guys
Well-
are too young to remember. Michael Keaton was before people.
People
hated,
were pissed off.
Yeah, hated.
They were
the
like,
idea.
"This guy's a comedian. He can't play
I
Batman."
mean, and true. It was a very odd choice then, and the people said
But
the
he
same
was
thing
great.
about Ben Affleck. They said the same. I don't know what they said about Christian Bale. I don't remember what the.
I don't think Christian Bale had a lot of hate around him, but Heath Ledger, when
Yeah.
he got cast as the Joker,
Joker, yep.
people thought this is insane.
Yep.
And I really like, you know, despite what happened with Batman v Superman and Justice League, I really like all those actors
Yeah.
as those roles. I felt they suffered because of. I think it was disjointed writing and production, but that wasn't necessarily even the writer's fault. It goes all the way up to the heads at Warner Brothers who were. It was like they were just plugging numbers into computers
Yep.
and spitting out movies instead of like letting people create.
They
them.
were trying to catch up with Marvel way too fast.
Oh, yeah.
and they shouldn't have done it. They should have just taken their time, and now they're doing things right. Aquaman was a huge hit.
Aquaman was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and then they've got James Gunn coming with Suicide Squad 2, which is, from what I
I
understand,
think it's rebooting it.
it's a reboot. It's
Yeah.
not
So that
really-
means I don't
really-
have to see the first one to see this one.
You don't
I
really need
wouldn't
to see it.
recommend anyone see the first one.
I didn't want to see the first.
There's still a
one,
part of me
so-
that's curious.
You haven't seen
know?
it either.
Like sometimes I wonder what a root canal would actually be like because
Right.
I haven't had one. So,
Harley
I mean,
Quinn was very good.
Harley Quinn was great,
Yeah.
and Margot Robbie
Yep.
as Harley Quinn is perfect casting.
Yep.
I didn't care too much for Jared Leto as the Joker,
That was
but
weird.
he was. Oh, there's my Jack
But
Nicholson.
Jack, on the other hand.
Hashtag my Joker.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, Jared Leto, well, he was so underused in the movie. They made this big deal about how Jared Leto was going to play the Joker and he was sending dead rats to his co-stars and like really getting into the role of the Joker and all this kind of stuff. And then he was in the movie for like 45 seconds.
Yeah.
Like what?
It was bizarre.
It was very bizarre. And I didn't care for the tatted up, you know,
I did not like that
gangster
look, no.
Joker.
That was
It's
kinda strange.
I was
Although it
like,
made
is this
for-
like emo, like you know, high school? That's like emo, you know.
But you know what? We got another one coming.
Yeah.
We have Joker coming. Joaquin Phoenix coming out
Joaquin
later
Phoenix,
this year.
but that's going to be a one-off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Brad's mad at
which is
you
also
for
a strange
defending
thing.
Ben Affleck.
I like Ben
I
Affleck's
think,
joke
I
as
think,
Batman
I
too.
think Batfleck is just the victim of
Yeah.
poor production,
And
essentially.
Zack Snyder. I mean, like,
Zack
there's
Snyder.
something Zack Snyder
Bring
is
back
really
Michael
good at.
Keaton. Hold Michael Keaton as Batman, an
Well,
older
yeah.
Batman.
Well,
Okay.
that's what they're saying. Batman Forever.
Isn't he also the victim of?
Not Batman
Has
Forever.
there ever been
Batman
a movie
Beyond.
called Batman Forever?
Batman Beyond. That's
Yeah.
what I meant. My
Batman
bad.
Forever
That
has
was
got
good.
cover.
Speaking
Bring him
of things coming up in the future, Derek,
Yes.
bulletin board. We have some
That's
things
a
that
good
are definitely
idea.
coming up. Yes.
All right, so coming up May 23rd through 26th is Phoenix Fan Fusion in Phoenix, Arizona. And then May 31st through June 2nd is Denver Pop Culture Con in Denver, Colorado. Following a couple weeks after that, June 15th and 16th is amazing Las Vegas Comic Con at South Point Casino in Las Vegas. June 28th through 30th, Wisconsin Comic Convention in Milwaukee. July 4th through 7th is Florida SuperCon in Miami, Florida, and that's a big one. There are guests such as George Takei. I mess up his
Takei.
name. Yeah, I know it's Takei, but I still always want to say it wrong.
I do too.
So George Takei, Benedict Wong, Felicia Day, Jonah Ray, Barry Bostwick, Jonathan Frakes, actors from The Office, and more. And then July 17th through 21st, as we've been talking about, is San Diego Comic-Con, which is how many weeks away, Jim?
Only 8 weeks until Comic Con.
Also, Anime Expo is July 4th weekend as well.
Oh, that's right. The
Yes,
which is
that's huge.
one of the largest one in the
Yes.
country, isn't it?
Yes,
It's here
It's
in
always
Los
July
Angeles.
4th weekend, and they do like they start Wednesday and go till Monday.
That's Los Angeles, right?
Yes, LA Convention Center. So, and I don't know if tickets are still available for that, but if they are, you probably want to jump on it soon because they would be sold out. But I'm not sure if they're sold
Yeah.
out yet.
And then one other event that we have that's not exactly a comic convention, but Ghostbusters Fan Fest is June 7th through 8th. And that's presented by Wizard World, and it's at Sony Studios.
Because this is the 35th anniversary of Ghostbusters. The actors are going to be there on the back lot at Sony Studios. I'm really excited about that. I think that's going to be very cool.
I do apologize. I don't have any of the information for this, but I looked into it, and there is a con coming up, not nerd related, but it's called EatsCon, and it's just like a food truck convention.
Like a food truck? Ooh.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Okay, that's cool.
And
Because that's one thing we love about WonderCon is the food trucks that are out there.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But it's like, I was like, oh, we should go to this because Bree and I just love eating. And
What kind of cosplay would you do for a food truck convention?
hot dog? I don't know.
That'd be
Bob's
awesome.
Burgers.
But,
Yes.
Oh, that'd be a good one.
oh, that would be really good. Yeah.
Banana.
A banana. That's true. I'm a banana. Anyway, we looked at it and we're like, well, like badges are $30 or something. Oh, there it is. They're throwing it up there.
There's a video.
Actually,
showing-
got it right here, you guys.
Oh, great.
It was the past 2 days. It was this past weekend,
Oh, it was
Saturday
this
and
past
Sunday.
weekend.
Oh, Ben!
No.
Come on.
Oh, but it was in LA, and it just sounds like it was a big foodie convention.
Yeah. Thank you, Ryan. Well, we had looked at it and we were like, well, badges were like $30 or something
Yeah.
like that. And then I was like, well, you pay for the badge and then you have to go in and like probably pay for the food at
Probably, yeah.
each of the things. So, and it makes sense because like the payment for the badge goes to the facility, like use of the facility. So,
Like
it is,
every convention you go to, you pay for the badge, and then you pay for all kinds of other crap.
Right,
Well,
exactly.
There is some that include it though. Like if
Yeah.
yeah, because I saw the Japanese food expo that was by Universal at the hotel there, and it included like sushi and all these and sake and like all these different things for the price of them.
Yeah,
thing,
there's
so.
and I want to apologize to those who are big fans of MegaCon in Orlando. It happened this past week. We haven't talked about it at all. Usually, every year in the past, we've always talked about it because it's a gigantic convention. It's like 100,000 people strong. It's one of the largest ones in the Southeast, and we forgot completely to mention it. And it has hundreds of guests. It's one of the biggest ones in the country, and so.
Wow. Con guy.
I know, that just completely slipped on by. I don't know how that happened.
I
Anyway,
guess we should call you the con-ish guy.
I know, con adjacent. So, Katie, there
Yes.
is one con coming up, which you were laughing about right before the show, and it kind of segues into our next section. What is that?
Our Comic-Con news.
Comic-Con
What's
news.
a Comic-Con?
So
Oh, there we go.
there's a lot of news this week, like a lot of stuff that I haven't even been able to see because I was
No,
busy.
but what
You
was,
want me to go through it in 3 minutes?
wait. No, but what was the one
Yeah.
convention we were talking about before the show?
the one piece of news that we're saying?
Paw.
Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, if you're in San Diego, July 7th, so it's a couple weeks before San Diego Comic-Con. The Comic-Con Museum, which we talked about last week, it's the year-round Comic-Con Museum. They're starting to have exhibits for all sorts of things. They're hosting Paw-Micon, which is a dog cosplay event.
Okay, I think it's the best ever.
Yes.
You take your
Be
dog
in
back.
San Diego that weekend.
It's a dog cosplay
We've got to
event.
go to that. I think Laura's listening. We should.
I was gonna
go
say
to
you
that.
don't have a dog though.
No, but we could go
But
and
Ben
see the
does.
other
Oh,
dogs.
okay.
I have a
It's like going
dog,
to see a
Yeah.
puppy parade.
but I don't want to take her to a big thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
She'd be scared.
By the way, we forgot.
Yeah. So, but that's cute. So
I
if
have
you
a
guys,
dragon.
So if you guys have dogs,
I was about to
in
say, yeah, you
San
got a
Diego.
guest here that we did not introduce.
I think people
a lovely
could
pet.
see it was a lovely
Lovely
dragon. full of fire.
All right, we got a lot of Comic-Con
Yeah.
news here, so Katie's gonna kick it off for
Yeah.
us.
Okay. So Funko Fridays, and I've never been a part of Funko Fridays. Have you guys ever done it?
I was trying to go last year, but tickets, bam, they went just like that.
Well, all the Funko stuff does. But anyway, it's back at San Diego Comic-Con on Friday, July 19th at the Manchester Grand Hyatt.
Right next door to the convention center.
It's the theme this year is Freaky Tiki Fun Days.
This is why I'm super excited about it. Yeah.
Tickets are $150 and go on sale this Wednesday, May 22nd, sometime between 10 and 1.
And by the way, that $150, it does sound steep for, you
Yeah.
know, but you leave with a bag, you usually get 2 to 3 Funkos in it. You get a lot of stuff
Like a
in
swag
your,
bag.
a swag bag, and then
Yeah.
you get a couple of drinks are included. There's food in there.
Cool.
So it's a really cool thing.
Yeah, and then
Sorry, real quick. There's also a tiki convention that happens down in San Diego every year.
Yes, and I'm
Isn't
surprised.
that coming up?
Yeah, Tiki Oasis is
Tiki
coming
Oasis.
up. It's coming up. I think in June. I think it's June.
Probably.
I think it's true.
me see if I can
Anyway,
look it
we'll
up
talk
right
about that later.
Cool.
Get back to Katie.
All right.
Group 2
Thank
of
you for bringing
the
that up.
Yeah.
ACE parking lottery is now underway, which so basically there's 4 groups of people, 4 groups that you can get in, and it's basically how you get parking passes to Comic-Con. The convention center is sold out already, as is Hilton Bayfront, except for Wednesday. The 6th and K-Lot near Omni is also sold out, so they're selling fast.
It is, and the thing is, and if you haven't signed up for this ACE
Yeah.
lottery, you're not going to get it right yet.
There's other options. You have options. It's just going to take a lot of research. The public transit, the trolley system is really good. If you're staying at a hotel, I always just pay the rate for my nights like at the hotel because it's easier than having to look at one of these parking lots. So I've never had issues getting a spot there.
But once all 4 groups have like,
Yes.
there's 4 weeks of the ticket lotteries going on.
Yes.
Once all 4 groups are done, it opens up to general public, and there's
Yes.
always some spaces left.
But you do have to move your car between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. or 12 a.m.
Oh yeah, this is
and 6
not.
a.m.
These are not overnight lots
Yeah,
at all.
so you still have to find a space for your car in those times.
Mm-hmm.
Then there is as our notes say, a strong rumor that Marvel Studios is coming back. Which, I've heard people saying
You
all
heard.
over.
You heard from a good source. Yeah.
Well, and everybody is wondering and speculates if Marvel's going to come back because, it's kind of ended stuff this year.
Yep.
So, but yeah, so
That would be
'cause
interesting.
They were gone
Kevin
last
Feige
year.
just comes out on stage, it's like, oh, we decided to be done.
They were gone last year because there was no way
just
they
not
could
making
come
enough
last
money
year.
anymore.
There's
so,
no way to
you know.
come between between Endgame
Well-
and Infinity War.
It's like everybody wants to know what's coming next. They haven't
Mm-hmm.
announced what's coming next. Like, we have speculation, so of course everybody's like, is this going to be where they say it?
Disney has released their entire slate of films for the next 2 years, and they go. Some of them go all the way to 2027 with the Avatar films. But for Marvel, it says.
Didn't say anything.
It says Marvel Film 1, Marvel
Yeah.
Film 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of
So-
speculation of what that will be.
And then
Moon Knight. Sorry.
Well, but also there's somebody else who's kind of starting to hit the papers this week on. I mean, the local, not the papers, the trades, in what could only be described as an early apology tour or press tour to make him. James Gunn. A great
yeah.
big interview
Gotcha.
came out this week, so I'm hoping they announce some stuff for Guardians 3.
Oh,
Cool.
yeah.
James Gunn, I love you. I'm so glad you're back on board. All right.
So I'm going to group in a couple things together because they're kind of similar in nature.
Okay.
Sunday, July 14th, which is a weekend before Comic-Con, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince in concert at San Diego Symphony.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of fun. I've never gone to one of those, but, that's pretty
I love
cool.
the way the whole town of San Diego embraces Comic-Con, and it becomes just the campus of Comic-Con, and like the symphony puts on all these things.
They're also presenting Galaxy Quest in concert on Thursday.
Which is cool. I don't remember the music from Galaxy
And
Quest.
as well as
They had pretty great music,
Animaniacs.
Animaniacs?
Animaniacs in concert at Balboa Theater, where the voice cast.
Oh man, that'd be
United
amazing.
States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Jamaica,
And
Peru.
Saturday, Back to the Future in concert.
Did you hear that, Cheeseman?
So,
Bran? Yeah.
and
Great
then
Scott.
in other stuff that's not related to music specifically, but still going on that week, we have the Ready Party 1 preview night party
Mm-hmm.
on Wednesday. I went to that last year.
And what'd you think?
It was fun.
Mm-hmm.
I know tickets are on sale, but I feel like they sold out, or
Already?
the pre-sale sold out. I have to double check on that
We'll
'cause I
check
can't
on that,
remember. But it's at Flux Nightclub on at San Diego Gaslamp from 8 to midnight.
That's
and
the big
last
preview
year,
night party, yeah.
Yeah, and last year they had signage all over for cosplays not consent. So if anybody had any gender had any issues with someone coming up to you and saying something inappropriate or touching you or anything, you could talk to one of many people there and be like, "Hey, I don't feel safe," and they would kindly tell people to leave.
Well,
and
good.
So it was supposed to be a really safe party, and I never felt uncomfortable at all in it. So,
Good.
and then on Saturday, D23 member mixer from 4 to 6 on the Martin Luther King Promenade.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be cool. Oh, I missed one. Tuesday. If you're there on Tuesday, there will be a 5 p.m. midnight pop-up show, Heroes and Villains, at the Thumbprint Gallery. Pop-up art show, sorry. That's cool.
That is really cool, yeah.
Yeah, those art gallery things, I've never been to one, but I've heard really cool things
They've
about
got
them.
one of what's the art gallery, Cheeseman, right there on Main Street that they did the Mel Blanc pop up in one year. And it's I don't know what the
I
name of
don't
it.
remember the name.
I don't either, but it's a great one. They'll
Supposed to
some-
remember everything, Brad.
Oh yeah.
You're our stories.
Yeah. Oh.
And then Saturday, 3rd annual Comic-Con pub crawl
Yep.
at 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. starting at Coyote Ugly.
For the record, there are no bars in San Diego that are open past 1 o'clock. I noticed last year.
At all?
In all of
whole
San Diego.
con?
Do you remember that? Except for
That's why you go back to hotel rooms and drink.
Yeah.
except for the Hilton Bayfront, they always have the networking thing open until about 1:30. But yeah, it was.
Oh, okay.
It seemed like they started closing everything early last year. I don't know what the reason for that was. So this is going to 2 a.m. They must know something I do not.
Well, it's for a private event.
It's going back to Ben's room.
Right?
Saturday
I'm not
also.
going to be there.
Third and final zombie walk at 6:30 on Saturday in the Gaslamp Quarter.
Seems like they've done more than just 3.
I think it's been more than 3.
Yeah.
That's we'll have to check on that.
Yeah.
Also on Saturday we have Super Awesome Showdown Unlimited Superhero Wrestling at the Tango Del Rey, 7:30 to 10. That sounds pretty entertaining.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Superheroes wrestling. I don't know what could possibly not be entertaining about that. And then Sunday after Comic-Con is the San Diego Comic-Con unofficial blog party. Sunday night. Isn't that usually before? Don't they normally have a pre-party?
They
or is it-
usually
okay.
they've been having it for many years now on preview night,
Yes.
but this year they have moved it to be the after party. So it'll be the party when everybody's leaving town, which I think is kind of cool. We've even talked about like, man, there's and Brad who is Brad watching? Do you know Luke?
He is.
Okay,
he's watching.
like
Remember
Brad
he chided me for defending Batfleck.
That's right. Brad is always talk about how they need to have something on the Sunday for those who are, left
Not
behind.
dead?
Yeah.
Not back in LA already?
Let's
Yes,
all
right.
drink and then drive back to Los Angeles.
And from our chat feed, I have an update. It sounds like Ben may be going to PolCon after all.
Oh,
The lady
what?
knows somebody who makes dog wigs and thinks that you could make it happen.
What?
They really
She's
are.
on the message feed.
They really are the con couple. I love this.
Text me.
I'm gonna have to tell
What?
my roommate about that because
I'm not
she would
reading
love
the
it.
chat.
The dog one?
Yeah.
I think that's the best con I've seen in a long time.
I think your dog looks a lot like ours because I feel like it was either Bree or someone else that sent me a picture. Do you have a TARDIS, a fleece blanket that your dog
Yeah.
uses? Yeah, it was Bree that's posted it. I posted like a picture of my dog and your guys' dog looks similar.
What's your dog?
Well, it's a
What breed?
It's
breeds.
a yeah, I know.
She can't remember what her dog is.
Chihuahua rat
All right.
terrier?
See, ours is a Chihuahua Jack Russell Terrier. So
okay.
that's why they
Yeah.
would look
So there's
very
that.
similar.
All right, guys. This is the part of the show that probably everyone who came to the show tonight is waiting for. Not like
Yeah,
that
I've been waiting
was-
for this.
I've
We've all
been waiting for this as
waiting
well.
with bated breath.
I brought my crown.
And
I
we all
brought
have
my
our
drinking horn.
drinking
Drinking
horn.
horn, if you haven't
love it.
noticed me.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Thank you so much. I had nothing Game of Thrones-ish, so I wore my Irish shirt since it was filmed in Northern Ireland. So it's as close as I could get. And then on the couch, we have a very special guest, Bran Cheeseman. tonight.
Cheese
I
brand.
came all this way just to be on the show.
cheese.
Just to be on the show. So, as a matter of introduction, we will be talking a lot of spoilers right now because we're going to talk about everything that happened last night. We're going to go through it. Last night was, as Katie or Ben was saying, it was the HBO's largest audience ever for a single episode, and from what we can see, the audience was pretty split. It was a pretty split episode. I'm going to start on with Ben because we haven't seen you in quite some time. I would love to know your first impressions of last night's grand finale.
Well, my first impression. So I was watching it with a room full of people who hated it. They they were like 30 minutes in. They're like, I'm done with this, and I was starting to get a little annoyed because everybody was just like every 5 seconds they were like, oh come on, and I was just like, let me watch it and just be disappointed on my own and quiet. Like don't like.
We had the rule at our party: no talking.
Right.
You can complain afterwards.
It was
Right.
the quietest viewing party we've had.
Yes,
That's
I
true.
agree.
And not mine. And so after like sitting on it and thinking about it for 24 hours, I've come to the conclusion that I accept it as the finale. Because the other thing is like, and this is down
You
farther.
don't get to choose.
Well, yeah, this is exactly. This is farther
I
down.
don't accept it.
This is farther down on our talking points, but I think we have kind of developed since the sad part. There are many sad parts to nerd culture becoming mainstream, geek culture becoming
Yeah.
mainstream, and these types of things like fantasy TV shows becoming so popular. Because 20 years ago, I don't think Game of Thrones would have had the kind of impact that it does now. And somehow it's developed into this intense love of things, which is great, but also just the toxic fandom type of stuff that we talk about, where we have this syndrome of petulant children that they're like, we didn't like the way you did it. Make it again.
2 million people.
2
apparently.
million people signed the
Petition.
Yeah, but which is like what 5% of the viewing
Yeah.
audience. But at the same time, it's like the best meme that I saw, and I never watched Dexter, but the meme that I saw said
that came up last night.
Some of y'all never got to watch Dexter take his sister's body out in a boat and throw it into the ocean. What in a hurricane, leaving his child with a known serial killer to go become a lumberjack, and it shows.
I think you literally said that verbatim.
Yeah, because it was like literally. I guess apparently Dexter is widely agreed upon to be one of the worst series finales ever. You want to read it, Katie? You got it there.
Yeah, well, I think you literally did say it.
Okay.
Though. Like it said, some of you Game of Thrones nerds.
Yeah.
Not calling out nerds, but yeah, whatever. Clearly never watched Dexter drive a boat into a hurricane with his dead sister on board after leaving his young son in the care of a known serial killer so he could become a lumberjack. And it shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, sometimes it's just what we get. Like, people are like, remake The Last Jedi. I'm just like, why? Like, that's what we got.
Yeah.
That's what we got. And the other thing is when people, and I've said this before, when people are like, The Last Jedi ruined Star Wars for me. No, it doesn't. I can go back and watch Empire Strikes Back anytime I want.
Yep.
And I often do.
Yes, I do.
And so, like, if a new movie ruins your childhood experience, something wrong with you, not the movie. You know what I'm saying? And so, break it down. Like, what did people want? Did people want Jon Snow to become king of the Seven
Or
Realms?
Dany.
Okay, what are the main complaints that we are hearing? What is it that people are unhappy about?
So
Wait, can we switch it first? No. Well, let's start there. What are people unhappy
Start on the negative.
about? Yeah, start on the negative.
Let's talk about what people
And
are
on a happy
not
note.
liking.
Yeah, we're gonna
We'll
go-
talk about the
Yeah,
stuff
what
we
are
do
people
like, too.
saying? I'll refute all of it.
Wait, I gotta ask Ryan, is this picture up on screen right now, Ryan?
I'm about to put it up on screen.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
The water bottle.
Okay, this is so funny. If you can put up on screen, Katie, what is this?
a water bottle was behind Sam's leg.
Well, that's Sir Davos.
That's
in
But
this
it's
movie,
Sam.
so-
But it's behind Sam's leg, so it looks like it's.
Well,
if you
the-
zoom it in, it's like you can't really tell whose it is. But
But there was more than one, from what I understand. You had one behind Sam's leg. You had this one
Yeah,
behind
so-
Couple
Davos.
of water
now-
bottles
Yeah.
last night.
now I can understand how this happens because they
Not ev-
probably,
I don't understand
no.
how it happens
So-
if you know you're on camera.
I don't know how
Okay.
it happens after the coffee cup incident. That's,
But the thing
because
is,
they'd
they-
already
they
filmed
already
filmed
everything
it.
by then.
They weren't
Yeah.
still filming this.
Yeah.
when-
but they can go in and digitally remove that.
But
They should have checked everything. Yes.
like, because they probably thought this is hidden by my foot,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
someone did not tell them it's not hidden by your foot.
I never would have seen
it's
that.
see-through. It's water. No one will
Well,
see
no,
it.
those
And
have the
having-
labels on it. That had labels on it.
Having been on set at movies,
Yeah.
people do that kind of stuff all the time.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
But just
I
sit on
remember
it.
I worked on Mad Men. And this didn't show up on camera, but I worked on Mad Men, and I remember watching John Hamm in between takes. You know, he's standing there, he's Don Draper, and I was a big fan of the show too. He's standing there, John Draper, they call cut, and Don Draper reaches into his jacket and pulls out his iPhone and starts like, and I was just like, this is surreal.
That's
so it's
fantastic,
like,
yeah.
you know, but the thing is, it's like, that's one of the other things that I saw was after the coffee cup thing. They're like, that coffee cup really broke the reality of this show about dragons. You know, like,
Okay, yeah, because I can't believe in dragons anymore.
But-
But what else did people not like?
I think that that's also a demonstration of how insane some fans of Game of Thrones
Right,
are. They're
right.
looking for flaws, and it's like, guys, all
I
respect,
agree.
get a life. I'm
Let's
sorry.
list off some of the things
You
that
go back watch Jurassic Park when the raptor opens the door into the kitchen. It's an animatronic and it
Yeah.
starts to fall to the side and a hand comes in and pushes it. That's in the movie. You can go
What?
watch it right now.
I can't wait to see
Okay.
that now. And there was also, remember when Frodo and Sam were leaving the Shire? There's
Oh,
the
and there's
scene-
like
the pickup truck
there's a
driving
car
off
in the
the
background,
cliffs.
which they went and
Yeah.
took that out before the DVD
Yeah,
release.
mistakes happen.
But
you know,
it happens.
Yeah.
We're we're not really in Westeros.
here's
We're
the
not
deal.
really in the Shire.
We can forgive that stuff. What
Yeah.
is the stuff that
So-
some fans thought was unforgivable?
Some people
And Derek,
really
you can chime in
wanted
as well.
I will.
Danny and John to rule together. That's what a lot of people wanted from what I've caught. And I was like, yeah, no. I would have been so mad.
Derek,
I used to want that multiple
Yes.
seasons ago before
Yes.
we really knew that she was his aunt. Yeah, and I would like, okay, that would have been great. And before we knew really about her, I mean,
before
just how far she'd go.
Before she made John bow before her, and then if he didn't, like he was almost like a
Yeah.
prisoner or just.
Well,
not for
that's
bowing.
another thing. A lot of people don't like Danny becoming this mad
Yes.
queen. Which, if you go back and watch, and people are like, "Oh, well, just foreshadowing isn't character development." I mean, I haven't watched that YouTube rant, but I keep seeing it pop up. But it was more than just foreshadowing. Like
Yes.
this has been in her personality. We just haven't quite see it come to the front. She's had the right people around her to temper her temper.
Right.
And
but she's-
Solo
and
let
we-
us know where it was going too. I mean, she started nice, and then
There you go.
So
but
we
she's-
shoulda known.
She hasn't just been like she's been trying to rescue the oppressed and everything, but she's had a messiah complex.
yes, she
Yes.
has.
She's
Absolutely.
been convinced that it's her destiny to rule, and that she's going to be the one to save everyone, and anyone who stands in the way is on the wrong side of history, and so they've got to be killed. That's basically what
They
it's
don't
been.
have a choice, is what,
What
she
was it?
said.
2 seasons ago, she said, "I will take what is mine with fire and blood."
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, she's been saying that a lot, and
Yeah.
like if you watch the very first season when Khal Drogo kills her brother,
Yeah.
she's enjoying it.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
She's very satisfied, and she's burning people alive very early on.
I know that
and
who,
taking satisfaction.
Sam's dad and
As soon
Sam's
as she
brother.
killed
Yeah.
Sam's family, if you did not
Yeah.
see that coming in her future, like were you just not paying
Yeah,
attention?
and then when
I
she
mean,
gets to this point, like she's had the conversation with John where she's like, I don't have any love here, and then he pulls away when they're kissing, and she's like, all right, let it be fear then, and then she's convinced that the common people in King's Landing are being used against her, and that they're not the oppressed ones that need to be freed anymore. That they're kind of like going to Cersei for. To hide and everything. She doesn't think anybody's going to accept her as ruler unless they're afraid of her. So like after everything that's happened to her, especially with the Messiah complex and all that, she thinks she's doing this for the good of the whole world. So of course she's going to kill thousands of people.
Well, and it becomes a thing of like, well, I didn't like that she did that because I liked her character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, too bad. Sometimes
liked-
you like somebody and they turn out to be a
Or
douchebag.
they
Yeah.
die.
some people like Darth Vader. Come on.
Or they die.
Or
He's a
the guy-
great villain.
Can I say something though? Like the big complaints I heard was that it was too fast,
Yes.
which I
I agree. They crammed a lot in.
They
too
should have
fast.
used
I would have
2
liked to see
seasons.
more.
Yeah.
Or
of
they
all
should
this.
have like had more episodes this season to
Maybe.
kind of
Yeah.
see her
Yeah.
fall.
Or we
Or-
could have
yeah.
just seen a few more action beats
Yeah.
in that plot line.
Right.
And this is a complaint for me that like Cersei was doing so little this whole season.
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk about Cersei?
They talk about her online of she got paid to
Props.
stare out a window with a glass of wine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
props to Lena Headey for getting paid $1 million an episode
Yeah.
to stare out a window drinking wine.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's not that
Exactly.
she did nothing. She did have a couple moves, but they're like there
she
wasn't
walked
much.
from here to there.
And she killed Missandei.
Well, she ordered the death.
But we were expecting Cersei, and even some of in the planning meetings in some of the earlier episodes this season, they were expecting Cersei to like be ready for them and have stuff. But all she was like, her whole plot was just to have lots of those scorpion things.
I guess,
Yes.
but the complaint is after 7 seasons of Cersei being the tyrant that she is and
Yeah.
the most ridiculously evil person, did she have a satisfying conclusion to her story?
A lot of people didn't think so.
Because
Well, because I think people wanted to see Arya kill her, or they wanted to see
Or Jaime.
somebody,
Jamie.
Jamie, or somebody do something horrible to her instead of her and Jamie die. But it was also somewhat poetic, you know.
I thought it was
Yeah.
beautifully poetic.
It was very, you know.
It was
that's-
poetic for sure.
Yeah.
But,
And also-
there's multiple angles that.
like,
are
because
why I
like
didn't
we were
like
talking
it.
about, I
Yeah.
like the idea that the only thing important to her, first and foremost, her children. So she has no children now. Maybe she's pregnant, maybe she's not. We'll never know. But the other thing is the throne. She is this thing, this city above her head is what she most admires, and it came crashing down and killed her.
Literally.
Yeah. And I thought that was kind of, but through the vengeance of somebody.
Yeah.
So I remember when the Mountain was walking in and Arya was going with him, they were going in to get revenge. And not the Mountain.
The Hound.
The Hound, I'm sorry. And the Hound said to Arya, "Don't come with me. Vengeance will only lead to death." And I almost think that's like the writers telling us, you know, yeah, we know everybody wants vengeance, but we're going to let Cersei and Jaime die this poetic death. I
In
agree.
a way, they were speaking to
Everybody
the audience
wants
too.
the ending from Taken, where like the person goes in and gets all the revenge.
Everybody wants someone to go in and be mean and vengeful, like Ramsay's death, but not. I don't know.
Just go rewatch Ramsay's death.
And I get it. I'm not saying that they're wrong to feel that, but that is the vengeance creeping into us. And heed the hound. Vengeance will kill you.
Yeah, but I think the other thing is people wanted a really satisfying ending that satisfied everything they wanted built up for them in the show. And the thing is, I gave up on satisfying endings with this show with the season 1 finale when Ned Stark's head hit the ground.
Yeah.
That's
Like
That's
that
what I
should have
gave up on
that clued us in
satisfying.
early on. We're not really going to see a lot of justice throughout this series.
Right.
You're going to see good people suffer and bad people get away with being bad very often.
Yeah.
I think people were holding out through all that, and in many ways hoping that we'd get some ultimate justice at the very end.
Yeah.
Sorry, no.
Right.
And
Wait, no, yes, we
I mean,
did
yes,
get ultimate
some,
justice.
but
We
But
got
still not
justice, but
satisfying to
we
most
got
people.
justice.
Right.
We didn't get vengeance. I think that's
Yes.
what people wanted.
Yes.
People wanted vengeance.
True, because I was actually having this justice conversation with someone today. Is the other thing that outraged a lot of people was Jon. His
Yes.
resolution is
did
really
close to
he's
nothing
gonna
for
get
many episodes.
he literally saved this country by killing a tyrant like crazy, who Danny went mad, but then they banish him to go live his life out as a night watch. I'm like, first of all, he didn't seem like. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It didn't bother me. That ending didn't bother me. Like they were trying to do what was right by. Like they did what they needed to do versus what they wanted to do as the characters. And I thought there was something to be said about that because they even said like neither of us are happy. Like they want you dead, we want you.
They did this to save his
they
life.
They did this
Yeah.
as a compromise.
Now-
and they want it to be run on a more peaceful world.
Along with that, like another complaint with some of the logic in the story. For one, Jon became a lot less active with some things this season, and we're still kind of trying to understand how his honor keeps him loyal to Dany, even at that point when he's arguing with Tyrion about it. And you're like, really? He's kind of just being lazy.
Yeah.
Lazy with his morals in a way. Do you know what I mean? Not really seeking the honorable thing.
Yeah.
And then the other aspect is. Or another thing that was frustrating for a lot of people, which I can understand, is they made the deal with the Unsullied and the Dothraki. Then all those guys leave. Why did they have to make this deal anyway? If they're just going to leave, they're going to like hop on ships and go away.
But I think it was also just to keep peace, as much peace as they
Yeah.
could. with
They'd still be
the
part of the
Unsullied.
kingdom.
Yeah,
system.
they're still in the kingdom.
Yeah.
And if like
Can't
word
they
got
hide him
out
with
that
the
they
wizard
didn't
or
need a war
something
with
and then
them.
bring him out at night?
Although, but let's think about his quote unquote punishment. They sent him off to the Night Watch, which was kind of funny when they announced you're going to the Night Watch. But do they need a Night Watch anymore? There's really not really a wall.
That's the thing.
The terror is gone. So basically, what were they sentencing him to? Go live your life.
Yeah, go live your life.
That-
Go live your life.
Which is go live your life without the burden of all this stuff behind you.
Well, and the other thing that I thought was like, okay, so Jon Snow is Aegon Targaryen, and he's the rightful heir to the throne. And so he has a claim to being king of the Seven Realms or whatever. Jon Snow / Aegon has not proved himself to be a ruler of the Seven Kingdoms.
Right.
He's a good man. He's honorable in a lot of ways, but he also showed he showed his the chinks in his armor, so to speak, like his weaknesses. That's an easier way to say it, and he turned out ultimately to be a mediocre leader at best, as far as a leadership position. Good guy, mediocre leader,
Yes.
and people just like Jon Snow, so they're like, well, I want him to be king. No, you don't, because he would be a terrible king.
Great.
Well, I was hoping at the end he'd finally be like, no, I'm gonna be king. Like he'd finally accept that, and then people would be like, oh,
He'd
and
step
they'd
up to the
reveal it.
task.
But
the
no,
news to
because he's
everybody.
mediocre. He's
But
always
if
just
he'd
been
step
very-
up though and man up about
He
it,
did.
then he
Here's
could.
Here's my.
But he did.
Oh wait, Cheeseman, they're showing the dire wolf.
the re-meeting between him and the reunification
What's it
of him
called?
and Ghost.
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 Yeah.
I got the word right. I haven't
Yes.
known what they're called the whole time.
No,
but
Ghost
Luke,
is
I
good.
think you're right. Cheeseman, I think you're right. Like that's what people wanted for him to stand up because this whole season he's kind of been standing in the background.
I'm with the queen.
Like even in the battle of
She's my
against the
queen.
Night King, he didn't do anything but run around and hide. And
Yeah,
then,
it was pretty milquetoast.
And then
in
he
that
yelled
whole
at the
battle.
dragon for a minute.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. Okay, I'm gonna throw these out real quick. Were you how satisfied were you with the outcome of Sansa?
Absolutely, 100%.
Well defined.
Yeah.
Beautiful, wonderful. I want to see
Fine.
that cosplay at a
Yes.
con this year.
Oh,
Okay, the only
Go ahead,
caveat.
trying to.
Guys, you got 30
okay,
seconds.
only caveat. If the North is going to be free, what about other kingdoms that would like to have been free, like Yara with the Iron Islands?
I agree.
They
but
could have been independent too.
I think they're stepping that direction. The thing I
Yeah.
liked about last night, they mentioned democracy. Everyone laughed it off, but the nugget has been planted that they're going to go that direction. Okay,
they could have a
Arya.
little bit of a republic.
Arya.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Arya, I think. Yeah,
I
she
would
is-
watch that show if they bring that back. Okay.
Absolutely.
Tyrion.
Yeah.
I
Why
think
not?
he's-
I
think he's where he ought to
predicted
be.
he would be the hand. I just didn't know who he would be the hand.
I thought he'd
where
get
he's
Castle
supposed to
Rock
be.
since he always wanted it.
Yes. I mean,
I thought we were going to get the end of the honeycomb and the jackass joke. And he told it again, because he told that in the first season, but he never finished the joke. And then he said it again at the end of the episode, but still didn't finish the joke. Have I told you the story of the honeycomb and the jackass?
I didn't get that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Brienne.
Brienne of Tarth. Yes,
It was very bittersweet, but yeah.
yeah.
I think her ending is great though. That's
Wasn't it
exactly where she
heartbreaking?
has always wanted to
I want
be.
her to write my life story.
Right?
Yeah.
And then who else was there? Anyone else?
Did you mention Bran?
I mean,
Bran.
Bran.
Oh, Bran. Okay.
mentioned
Can we talk
King
about that for a second?
Bran.
We do have to end, but Bran. How did you feel about Bran becoming king?
Mixed
Eh.
feelings.
I'm not dissatisfied.
Yeah. First of all, he does
I'm
not have.
satisfied.
He does not have the best story of everyone there.
No.
Okay, and also, I don't know that he'd be that great of a king. For one thing, that meeting in the small council, they're discussing actual needs of the kingdom, and then he goes off to try and warg and find a dragon.
find a dragon.
Yeah.
While you guys
Also,
run the city.
the other point that was brought up to me by somebody else, and I don't recall who at this time, was so Bran knew all this was going to happen from the point that he became the Three-Eyed Raven.
Yeah.
Yes.
He knew he was going to become king, and then just let everybody around him die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it true that he knows absolutely the future, or
I
does
don't-
he know?
I think he knows the past.
He knows the
fully.
past.
Okay.
But he's got such insight. He should have been able to figure some of this out. I would think. One theory is like that was plotting this the whole time, kind of like the theory that Jar Jar Binks is a Sith Lord.
Right.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
But it's just fan theories, you know. Other thing, Drogon destroying the Iron Throne.
That was sick.
That
Yeah.
was my prediction / hope for a while.
Yeah.
Like I thought I was really wanting that to be his last act.
Yeah.
I thought he'd like die afterwards. And I also didn't expect him to just do it
Yeah.
on his own.
Did you
That was a
think?
little strange.
Did you think that he was about to release a blast onto John?
No.
Well, that's what.
Yeah,
And then
because I
John-
wanted to see Fireproof John.
And John was going
But
to.
he's not a full Targaryen. Like
Yeah.
he's half Stark. So
Yeah.
But they could make that happen.
It could, but also like in the books, Dany's not fully fireproof. It was like one special moment of something, a supernatural thing that happened in that season, like at the end of the first book,
Right.
stepping into the fire with the eggs.
Right.
She's not fireproof all the time.
okay.
All right, guys. As we wrap up,
In the show, she is.
Okay,
Right.
Ben.
Yeah.
So you would give it a
I mean, it was fine.
fine.
So I don't know 3.
This is out of 5. Out of 5.
Out of 5? Yeah, probably about a 3. Yeah. 3,
Yeah.
3.5.
With a reason.
I was saying around 3.5 because
Yeah.
it's like it could have been a whole lot worse, but there are things
Yeah.
they could have done better.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that I'm going to
Generally,
give it about a 3.5. I think it wrapped up everything how it needed to
Yeah.
be. The fact that they killed Daenerys so early in the episode took all tension away from the episode, and the rest of it was
Yeah, I want a little battle.
yeah. Like in traditional writing terms, we
Yeah.
would have moved some of these battles a little bit further towards the end of the season.
There
and
was a
added
lot
the
to tie
tension.
up. It's
Yeah.
like with the end of Return of the King, like we
Yes.
need lots of
This felt like
tie up.
Very
Yeah,
much like
for a
that.
long
That's a
time.
good point. This felt like that.
They had like 7 false
Bran,
endings in this.
Bran, how did
episode.
you feel about the end of the episode?
If I got to choose, I would make Tyrion king, and I would be hand to Tyrion.
Yeah.
I think that would have been the perfect ending.
Hey guys, you know why Drogon melted the Iron Throne?
Why?
Because he knew Bran had his own chair.
Thank you so
You
much.
saw those memes, right, where they have the Iron Throne with wheels?
By
On
the
that
way,
note.
thank you for tuning in to the Con Guy Comic Con Prep Show this week. We have a lot. If you guys have anything else to shoot at us, your opinions, we would love to hear them. I know that everybody here, you're going to get their social media handle, so they would love to talk to you about it.
Tweet at me.
yes,
I'm trying to be more active on Twitter.
Awesome. Anyways, you can find us here most Monday nights. We will not be here next Monday because it is Memorial Day. Go hug a veteran and tell them how much you appreciate their service. So, where can we find you, Derek?
You can sometimes find me on Twitter at ConGuyDerek, but I'm trying to do social media less these days. But you can also find me
You
on
can
the
call him
ConGuy.com.
at 818. No.
You Find me on theconguy.com and right here.
I'm Katie. You can find me on Twitter at KT_Christine or on Instagram at Katie's Fairy Tale. But also, we didn't cover it, but if you guys can tweet any of us what you think has been one of your favorite series finales.
Yes.
I really want to know.
You know,
please tweet
let's
me.
end on that.
Yes.
One of your favorite series finales will go around the table.
Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Fantastic.
Breaking Bad and Vampire Diaries.
Fantastic.
Oh man.
Oh, we're catching you
I
off
don't
guard.
know.
Hey, let's go to Bran
Yeah,
first.
you're
What's one of
catching
your
me.
favorite series finales? Do you ever finish them?
Bates Motel was fun.
Oh yeah. That's good.
I guess I'll take that.
And where can
I
people
did like Breaking Bad
and where
a
can
lot.
people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at CheeseOnCouch, and I apologize for just seeming like such a creeper here, and probably not very good cosplay either. But forgive me, I'll be normal next time. But maybe I'll bring the balloon back. I don't know.
I'm Ben Kliewer. You can find me at BenKliewer on social media. Tweet at me, and I think I really enjoyed the Battlestar Galactica series finale. It was a little weird and different,
Yeah.
but I enjoyed it.
Yep.
Fans were split on that one too.
Yeah.
Don't spoil it. I'm trying to get this
Okay.
this one.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
I
Oh,
haven't
okay.
seen it either.
You can find me at Jim Frye LA on Twitter. You can follow us at theconguy.com on Twitter. Also follow us on Instagram. Find us on YouTube.
Favorite finale, Jim.
My favorite finale, you just grabbed it with the Battlestar Galactica. There was a certain somebody's mission was accomplished moment, which was a gut punch, and it just floored me. And I thought could not have been written better. Also, I'm going to be very divisive because one of my favorite finales of all time, Lost.
Oh,
Loved
Nice.
it.
Yes.
All right, guys. So please pay attention. Pay attention. That sounds terrible. Please like us, follow us, be watching the show. We'll be back in a couple of weeks. And, pay attention to me. And long live Game of Thrones. And can we have some more of that awesome music as we go out there?
Queros
Ryan? All
From
right.
producers
Long
Maria
live the
Menounos,
king.
Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.